Charlie Kirk being slain, being executed, has been, unfortunately, the topic of all the conversation for the last month or so. It's actually, it's been a bit over a month now since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And obviously we had that big cringe Charlie Kirk funeral that was more like a WWE event. Trump spoke there, there were fireworks and light shows, and they had a massive, 90,000 person praying event for Charlie Kirk. It was very, very cringe. But now they're dialing up the cringe meter to 11, because Donald Trump is awarding Charlie Kirk in death with the Presidential Medal of Freedom and giving it to Erika Kirk in his absence, while also designating today, which is Charlie Kirk's birthday, by the way. Did you guys know that? Today is Charlie Kirk's 32nd birthday, I believe. He is marking today the National Charlie Kirk Day of Mourning. Charlie Kirk's birthday, or Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance, I think it's called. National Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance, I think he's calling it. Either way, the event was live streamed just today, only a few hours ago. And I figure, why not go ahead and take a look at how this went, at what this was all about. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut ahead to when the event actually starts, because as you can see, it's a lot of waiting around by the press for Trump to come out. And then he comes out. Here we go. All right.
We have the best press conferences, I know a lot about press conferences, and let me tell you, I have the best press conferences. Everyone's telling me this all the time.
By Erika Kirk.
I know, this is the tackiest administration.
Ladies, this is such an honor. This is the, please be seated. This is the first time we've been at the new and improved Rose Garden, and people are loving it. They're loving it like they've not loved a lot of things. We have the...
He really just cannot stop talking about the renovations to the White House.
Presidential Walk of Fame, which you just saw.
Why is he out of breath? He just walked 20 feet, dude.
And it just opened, and we wanted to get it open for this occasion. We were hoping we were able to...
You realize the sport this guy plays is the one sport where you spend the majority of the time sitting down and then, occasionally stand up in order to do, a swing or two, and then you go back to sitting down in a golf cart. Okay, He plays the laziest, most retiree, old arthritis knees ass sport in existence.
Get outside, and the weather allowed us to. It was supposed to be a terrible rainy day. I was telling Eric, and God was watching, and he didn't want that for Charlie. He just didn't want that. So it's really beautiful. It couldn't be more beautiful. Today we're here to honor and remember a fearless warrior for liberty, beloved leader who galvanized the next generation like nobody I've ever seen before, and an American patriot of the deepest conviction, the finest quality and the highest caliber, the late, great Charlie Kirk.
This is hard to watch.
5 weeks ago, our nation was robbed of this extraordinary champion. He was a champion in every way. I got to know him so well. He didn't like losing, and he was able to fight people.
I get that this shit is hard to watch, but you guys realize that, I have to watch this constantly, and I have no choice but to do so and to stay kept up with it and informed on every little detail of every bit of this. I get that it's hard to watch, but man, imagine what it's like for me. You think I am not getting burned out on this shit? I don't have any choice but to continue covering it and to stay locked in on it. You think this isn't exhausting for me? I get it. We're in rough times, and it's just not fun to be on the left right now. And I'm feeling that big time in terms of the enthusiasm behind the channel. Among you guys and in the comments and in the audience, in the chat, in the Discord and stuff. I'm seeing a you know, like right now the Discord is at like 50% boosted, for instance, when normally it's at like 90 to 98 to like 100%. You know, there's been even within the core community in the Discord, there's been a notable drop in the amount of participation. And it's because I know a lot of you guys are just, the left it's not fun to be on the left anymore. And after a while, you guys are just burning out. And I don't know if this means like the left online has no future, because traditionally, the crazier the right got, the more material the left online had to work with. But yeah, it is weird to see that like it's gotten so overwhelming that even I'm like, fuck. This is so much. Can we have like a week off from Trump doing crazy shit? Can we just have a week where we just don't talk about Trump and Trump doesn't do anything notable, and we can just respond to chud videos purely, you know, and drama slop? That would be fun. But unfortunately, we are in hell, and we gotta continue to fight, or we lose.
That were enemies, and he didn't necessarily love those enemies so much. You know, I heard he loved his enemies, and I said, wait a minute, is that the same Charlie that I know? I'm not sure, but I didn't want to get into it. But it was a horrible, heinous, demonic act of murder. He was assassinated in the prime of his life for boldly speaking the truth, for living his faith and relentlessly fighting for a better and stronger America. He loved this country. And that's why this...
Remember, if he was boldly speaking the truth, one of Charlie Kirk's quotes was, "Some gun deaths are necessary if it means we get to keep our Second Amendment rights."
Afternoon, it's my privilege.
In fact, he was defending that very idea right when he got shot, funnily enough.
To posthumously award Charles James Kirk, our nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Thank you. As you know, only hours ago, I returned from a very historic trip to secure peace in the Middle East. People said that couldn't be done. Charlie felt it could be done. Charlie...
Okay, alright, maybe Israel did it. Holy shit. Oh my... Wait, hold on. That smile.
People said that couldn't be done. Charlie felt it could be done.
Dog. Did Trump actually collude with Israel to take out Charlie Kirk? I know, like, Candace Owens might actually be onto something. Because, like, Trump, if he was behind a plot to assassinate someone who was meant to be a martyr that they would then weaponize for their own political victory, Trump would give a smug smile after referencing the party that was behind killing Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying. That smug smile made me, like, 20% more open to the idea that the Candace Owens theory about Charlie Kirk's assassination might have a point. That's a really weird thing to give a smile about. No, that's an evil Trump smile, by the way. We know Trump. This is like the smile Trump gives when he's like, this is a shit-eating grin he gives when he knows he's on some shit. Like he knows something right now. That is the face of a man who knows something, and that smile is meant for the people who also know. Dokes moment for me watching this? Real.
Charlie felt it could be done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. But I raced back halfway around the globe. I was going to call Erika and say, Erika, could you maybe move it to Friday? And I didn't have the courage to call. But you know why I didn't call? Because I heard today was Charlie's birthday. And I said, you know, that was a definite. And I said, we're going to have to forget about some of those very big, very rich...
I like how he literally just admitted to wanting to delay it.
...countries that expected me to be there. And I can tell you, based on the length of that flight, I wouldn't want to go back tomorrow. But I would not have missed this moment for anything in the world. Nothing. And it's a very important time for our country, and our country is doing so well. It's never done better. We are a country with almost now $18 trillion of investment coming in. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. Previous administration had less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We have more than 18, it'll be much more than 20 by the time the year, more than $20 trillion. There's never been a country in the world that had anything like that. What's happened to our country is incredible in a short period of time. Charlie was a big person for...
Look at the shit-eating grin on his face. He's eating this up because he wants the publicity, and he wants to distract America from the Epstein files. That's definitely true. Like, we're still... like, once the government shutdown ends, that one representative in Congress, I think it is, gets... or is it the House? Gets approved, and they've got enough votes to put forward that motion to release the files. They're one vote short, and that one already elected, but not, like... not approved for the seat, Democrat has already pledged to vote yes, which is the last vote they need to put in that demand on the release of the Epstein files. At that point, the president will have to openly, publicly refuse Congress's request for the Epstein files to be released. So that would be a very bad look for Trump. He would just be overtly saying publicly, no, I will not release the Epstein files. Yes, they exist. No, I won't release them. He'll have to say that.
Sir, could we close up those borders, please, a little bit? You know, they're really leaking badly. I said, Charlie, I haven't gotten there yet. But, you know, it came out last 4 months. Literally nobody was allowed into our country. And the only people that were allowed in were people that came in legally. The borders are absolutely stone cold closed. And
I like how he goes from literally no one was allowed into our country to only the people legally coming in. Are you implying that there is no legal pathway into America now?
They reported 0, 0, 0, and 0, so that's pretty good.
There's
but
zero illegal immigration
a big believer.
now.
He wanted people in the country more than I did, frankly. He wanted them to come in legally, and he got his wish. October 14th is Charlie's birthday, and he should have been turning 32 years old. I tell you, when I first met him, he was like 22, and I said, boy, he's awfully young, but I thought he was older than that, you know. He looked a little bit older than his age. That's okay, you know. That's not good when you're old, but when you're young.
Bro, just stop talking. He's such a yapper. Like, he can't he doesn't even, like, he goes, whenever he's reading the script, it's glazing Charlie Kirk. But then when he starts talking off the cuff, he's, like, throwing shade. It's so bizarre.
It's great. He had the best of all things, but he was special. But instead, Charlie is attaining a far more important milestone. We're entering his name forever into the eternal roster of true American heroes. He's a true American hero, an amazing person, way, way beyond his years. And I'm honored to be joined by a woman who has endured unspeakable hardship with unbelievable strength, and that's Charlie's widow, Erika. And I just want to thank you, Erika. He loved you so much. I was with him. Oh, please. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I was with him before I met Erika, and he told me he was going to get married. He said, you won't believe how beautiful she is. I said, well, then now that I meet her, he's right. But then he also said,
no fucking shot. No, okay. Can we just, like, appreciate the cringe? Oh my god. This is not even, like, hard to watch in the way that people were saying before. This is just downright cringe. I love this.
And you know what? She's like the smartest person I know. See, they do go together on occasion. Not often. Not often. But on occasion they go together. But he was in love with you. He was deeply in love with you. It's great. Erika, your love and courage have been an inspiration to all of us, and we will always be here for you, and we're always going to be here for your gorgeous, beautiful children. And we'll never forget what your family has sacrificed for our country. Man loved our country. When things were going badly for our country, he was so as you know, angry. He would get angry because he said it doesn't have to be that way. We're also pleased to be joined by an incredible group of Charlie's friends, very powerful friends, actually, and some not so powerful, and they're actually better people. Okay, I know them all. They're the less powerful ones. I have to tell you that, all of you power guys down here, the best ones in the group are the ones that are less successful, but that happens too. No, they're all great, and they're here.
Now he's back on script.
And let's start with Erika's father. Where is Erika's father?
Now he's off script.
Where are you? Where are you, Dad? Oh, look at him. Wow. I want to get a hat like that, too. I like that. How are you? Nice to see you again. Thanks as well to Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic. J.D., thank you very much.
Wait, I love how you can literally call out when he goes off script, because he goes from sounding coherent to sounding like a complete moron. Like a kid who didn't read a book but needs to explain the plot of it in front of class.
Great. Doing a great job. Did a great job on Sunday with George Slopadopoulos. I thought put him away pretty good.
POV, Donald Trump doing a book report on the book he hasn't read to class. Actually, you know, I can just show you the clip of Donald Trump doing a book report on something he hasn't read. Hold on. This is one of my favorite clips. I wouldn't be surprised if this video's been taken down off the internet. No, okay, we found it. Ah, I love this clip. So when I say that Donald Trump sounds like a kid who hasn't read a book and is trying to sound like he knows what he's talking about when giving a book report in front of the class, here's the best example of that, and it's a literal example of him doing that.
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book, and you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are, and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it, because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible... The whole Bible is an incredible... I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
Yeah. Yeah, when I say Trump always sounds like he's giving a report on a book he hasn't read, that's what I mean.
Second lady, who's a phenomenal woman, Usha Vance. Thank you very much, Usha. Thank you very much. Great woman. President of Argentina. He wanted to be here. That's Argentina's a serious...
Zan, show him talking about Citizen Kane. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen Citizen Kane. I really need to. I hear it's obviously, like, agreed upon by many to be, like, one of the best movies, if not the best movie ever made. 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, 4.2 on Letterboxd, 8.2 on IMDb. I'm sure there's been some fuckery with the ratings, and that's lowered them on IMDb and Letterboxd, but the Rotten Tomatoes 99% matches the consensus that I've heard. Rosebud is good? I've heard Rosebud is good. I've had it spoiled for me, though, because spoiling Rosebud is like a meme. Okay, Citizen Kane, Trump.
Watch.
This is Trump reviewing Citizen Kane.
The wealth, the sorrow, the unhappiness, the happiness just struck lots of different notes. Citizen Kane was really about accumulation. And at the end of the accumulation, you see what happens, and it's not necessarily all positive. Perhaps I can understand that.
Oh.
The relationship that he had was not a good one for him. Probably not a great one for her, although there were benefits for her.
Okay, so it seems like he's seen Citizen Kane, and he actually is talking about it in detail. Like, he's actually specifying about things. So this is Trump when he's talking about something he is actually familiar with. Cut to also Trump talking about anything to do with construction and land development. That's an area where Trump does actually, like, have something to say. I won't say that he's good at it, and I won't say that he's, like a mogul or anything at it, but he understands it enough that he has something of value to say. You know what I mean? Like, he's not constantly repeating and trying to make more sentences out of the same statement. He's going from sentence to sentence to sentence, and each of those sentences serves its own purpose. Almost only when he's talking about construction. That's the one thing. That's the one thing where he actually might know a thing or two.
Serious flight, right? And he's become a superstar, and he's doing amazing things. It's he's a MAGA person, but it's make Argentina great.
Oh, he views Kane as a role. Don't spoil the movie for me. I have not seen it, okay? Please do not spoil Citizen Kane for me. It's on my watch list.
Yeah, that's
Sooner
what
than
he
later.
does, right? And I want you to stand, please, Javier Milei.
Oh, God.
Doing a great job.
Yeah, he is? Is he? Is he?
Thank you very much. Many
Is he?
members of my cabinet are here. Just about all of them are here. I won't go into every single one of them, but I'll announce a few of the people that have really turned this country around and helped me. Incredible people. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
I'm going to predict the future for Argentina right now, okay? Javier Milei and his administration will be a nightmare. People will suffer. It will be so bad that there will be an anti-incumbent bias against far-right, tough-on-crime politicians. Remember, Javier got into power because people were just fed up with the crime. The crime was so bad that any kind of tough-on-crime, like we're going to do something about this kind of policy and administration, was popular as fuck. And that really tough on crime. We're going to deal with the crime. We're going to bring the standard of living up to par. We're going to stop having, executions and beheadings in the streets. That was a big appeal. That was a big draw. And unfortunately, that oftentimes ends up being, like, terrible. When you go too far in that direction, you have a big war on crime, drug war type deal. The Philippines actually did something like this, where the previous administration, it was the Duterte regime, I believe, was really just highly police state, militarized, fascist as fuck, anti-drugs, like executing drug dealers and drug addicts, imprisoning people for, minor crimes and stuff, like full-scale police state. And then, kind of as a response to it, as a sort of revolution against it in a way, the current Marcos regime was elected into power. And that regime, like the current cabinet of the Philippines government, is made up of criminals. Like literal, like mafia, crime boss, like oil baron, corrupt pieces of shit. Like, I've done some content about the scandals happening in the Philippines, but I'm going to bet that when Milei leaves power, very unpopular, inevitably, because a police state is not fun to live in, I really hope it doesn't lead to another overcorrection, where much like the Philippines, they end up electing a literal corrupt criminal organization, or criminal administration, that ends up bolstering crime in the region. I really hope that this isn't just like a back and forth between like extremes that just keeps the country in a fucked state.
Where is Mike? Mike, what a job you're doing, Mike. What a job you're doing. And I watched you this morning, and you're in there trying to say, look, just let the country open. Everything will be fine.
El Salvador,
We're
my bad.
dealing with some radical...
Listen, South America, I'm American, okay? South America doesn't exist. There's just America, all right? They should just start calling it what it really is. Southern Mexico.
left lunatics. And I would just wish Charlie was here to fight us. I think the fight would have been over already. He would have had a march on the Capitol by people whose average age is about 21, because there's nobody that had that relationship with young people. Right, Mike? So thank you, Mike, for being here. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Steve, thank you very much. A brave guy and a friend. House Majority Whip, another terrific man, Tom Emmer.
All right. Let's get to the part. Let's get to the part we're all here for. Erika Kirk still wearing black because she's a widow, mourning widow. I love how she's doing like the traditional like mourning widow thing, where she's got to wear black for like a year or something, 2 years or something, like always wearing black. What's that traditional policy on like widows?
The Presidential Medal of Freedom is awarded to Charles James Kirk. Accepting on behalf of Charlie is his wife, Mrs. Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk was one of the most influential American political figures of his generation. At just 18 years old, he founded Turning Point USA and grew it into the largest conservative youth organization in the nation. For over a decade, he tirelessly traveled the country, leading a movement to restore respect for our founding principles, reawaken our national identity, and inspire a renewed spirit of religious devotion. He was one of the great debaters and communicators of his time. Despite receiving repeated threats, he remained undeterred and modeled courage, logic, humor, and grace to the next generation.
I'm not gonna lie, Erika Kirk looks like a cartoon mourning widow. Like the little like the single like neckerchief where she's like I don't know, dude. That just seems like she's using that little thing to be very performative, you know what I mean? Like it looks like a cartoon character mourning, you know what I mean?
On September 10th, 2025, at age 31, Charlie Kirk was assassinated while addressing a group of students. The United States honors him as a martyr for truth and freedom.
So cringe. She really does look like she's acting, doesn't she? Like there's just something about her that comes off as very not genuine.
Thank you, Mr. President, for honoring my husband in such a profound and meaningful way. And thank you for making this event a priority amid the peace process in the Middle East. Thank you. Very grateful. Charlie, excuse me.
We did it, guys. Lasting peace.
Charlie,
in the Middle
always
East.
admired your commitment to freedom. And that's something that both of you shared. So thank you. Your support of our family and the work that Charlie devoted his life to will be something I cherish forever, so thank you. To our gracious First Lady in her office for making this event possible, thank you as well. It's beautiful. To Vice President and the lovely Usha Vance, your friendship has been an unbelievable
Where's your
encouragement.
fantasy, boss?
And to all our friends and family that are here and watching from all around the world, thank you for loving us. Thank you for praying for us and for believing in what Charlie believed in. And to our Turning Point USA staff and the Charlie Kirk Show staff, we love you more than you could ever know. And to the Turning Point USA chapters that are watching all across America right now, you are the heartbeat of this future and of this movement. Everything that Charlie built, you guys are the legacy holders of that. You are living proof that his mission did not die with him. It lives through you. And Charlie always said the next generation will decide whether freedom endures.
Every segment I do, I feel the need to remind you all that, like, 5 years ago, this would have seemed like parody. Like, this feels like a scene from early seasons of The Boys.
Because of you, I know that freedom will endure. It will. And today we're gathered not only to celebrate Charlie's birthday, but to honor a truth that he gave his entire life to defend, and that's freedom. The very existence of the Presidential Medal of Freedom reminds us that the national interest of the United States has always been freedom. Our founders etched it into the preamble of our Constitution, and those words are not relics on parchment. They are a living covenant. The blessings of liberty are not man's invention, they are God's endowment. Charlie lived for those blessings, not as abstract words, but as sacred promises.
Trump's so bored.
He used to love to journal about this topic.
He just wants us to be over
all the time, and with such a heart postured of gratitude. And he believed that liberty was both a right and a responsibility. And he used to say, freedom is the ability to do what is right without fear. And that's how he lived.
I'm just imagining Trump right now. Hold on. I gotta do this. Oh no. Come on, YouTube. Load faster. I need to turn on hardware acceleration. I gotta make this meme in real time. Here we go. Alright.
Free from fear. He was free from compromise, free from anything that could enslave his soul.
Every night, I can feel my
His
leg,
name Charles literally means free man.
even my fingers.
And that's exactly who my husband was. He was a free man.
The body I've lost.
And from the time I met him, sitting across from him,
Stop hurting.
being interviewed
It's like they're all still
on
there.
politics and philosophy and theology, anything that Charlie loved, any topic he loved. And I
Just the thought that that's like the internal monologue of Trump right now. Like, I just like to imagine that Trump there, bored as fuck. Like, that is his mental state. Is Kaz's mental state in that scene, more or less.
saw the fire in his soul, and there was this divine restlessness within him that came from knowing God placed him on this earth to protect something very, very sacred.
Look at him. He
For
does
all of
not
us,
want to
and he
be
never stopped
here.
fighting for people to experience freedom. He didn't.
Why are we still here?
Charlie often said that without God, freedom becomes chaos. And he believed liberty could only survive when anchored to truth. And I remember in one of his speeches, he told the audience that the opposite of liberty isn't law, He said it's captivity. And that the freest people in the world are those whose hearts belong to Christ. But what's so powerful is that Charlie had the ability to communicate so brilliantly across all generations. And he reminded us that in a world that tells us freedom is doing whatever you want to do, the real freedom is the power to live freely and to do what is right. And in one of his journal entries, he wrote that he wanted everyone to know that you can't have liberty without moral responsibility. Freedom divorced from faith eventually just destroys itself.
Freedom divorced from faith destroys itself. God, these people. I mean, Donald Trump is literally the Antichrist. Like, his followers literally wear his mark on their foreheads. Like, come on. I mean, he's literally the Antichrist. He's a false prophet on top of all that, you know? Like, the clip I just showed of him earlier where he can't name what his favorite testament of the Bible is even, is a pretty good sign that he's a false prophet despite claiming Christianity so fervently. Like literally look up exactly everything about the Antichrist. Trump matches it 1-to-1. Trump is the Antichrist. Hell, I mean, isn't it a line in the Bible that better a poor man who walks in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways? Donald Trump literally admitted he's not going to heaven. Does anyone know about that, by the way? You guys know about that. Trump admits not going to heaven. Trump, at 79, admits he probably isn't going to heaven. Donald Trump has waved the white flag in his campaign to get into heaven. The president didn't appear optimistic about his prospects in the afterlife as he spoke to reporters aboard Air Force One on Sunday, days after he lost his long-running bid to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Fox News' Peter Ducey checked in on Trump's push to secure a seat in heaven after the president rushed to lock down an Israel-Hamas peace deal ahead of the highly anticipated Nobel Peace Prize announcement last week.
I mean, I'm being a little cute, Trump said. I don't think there's anything that's going to get me into heaven, okay? I think I'm not maybe heaven-bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to make heaven. I've made life a lot better for a lot of people, he went on.
It's no secret that getting into heaven has been on the 79-year-old president's mind. In August, Trump told Fox News that he had personal motivations to put an end to the Russia-Ukraine war, which he previously claimed he could end on day one of his second term. Funny how many of those day one promises got totally, no more talking about that, huh? If I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think it's a pretty... I want to try and get to heaven if possible, he said at the time. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. If I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. Really bizarre thing for him to be saying, and makes you wonder if there's a point to the idea that his mental state is declining. I don't know, it just, definitely seems a little weird. Anyway, folks, if y'all enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable in any way whatsoever, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already, so that you can support the channel for totally free and maybe YouTube will tell you when I upload or put out new videos. You can follow my social medias linked down below in the description too to follow me on other platforms, and if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub to someone else on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me though, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.